Episode 4 of House of the Dragon. A war on 3 fronts. No food, no gold, and no hand. At the start of this episode, there is currently Masara sitting on the council, and that's it.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
And the seat of government is a room full of chairs. By the end of the episode, the table is full. Great news, right? Until you actually look at who's sitting there. A spy master who sold his family to the enemy. A grand maester who's not even your own grand maester. And a sailor who tells you to your face that he's not meant for court. And hovering just outside of the Black Council, Otto Hightower, the enemy, dispensing advice to Rhaenyra. Rhaenyra fired everyone who was loyal and hired everyone who betrayed her. Which brings me to the question that I couldn't stop asking this entire episode, and the one I want you to answer for me in the comments down below. Who does this show want you to root for? What characters are even compelling enough to care about? It's definitely not the queen. They keep proving she's unfit. They continuously make Daemon stupider and stupider every episode, so it's hard to root for him. And unironically or ironically, the best character in the show right now is Ormund Hightower, the villain. Here's the main take that I keep coming back to every episode: the dumbing down of the characters. Whenever the writers need the plot to move from point A to B, they don't build a bridge that makes sense for what the character would be doing. They make a character stupid enough to jump that gap. And this episode is full of it. The whole Daemon going to the Vale and finding Rhaena in the cave. I like the fact that Daemon's dragon, Caraxes, felt the presence or heard Sheepstealer in the area and took Daemon right to him. I thought that part was pretty cool. But it all falls apart right after that. Rhaena's character comes off as so annoying. Every time I see her face, she just looks annoying and she acts annoying. Like, you are Daemon Targaryen's daughter. You're a princess. That's not good enough for you. You want Daemon to betray the queen for you. She just sounds like a whiny brat, honestly. And then the dumbing down of Daemon's character to just accept that, let her fly away with Sheepstealer, and then find a goat herder that saw you and decide to take his head back to Rhaenyra. 2 seconds of thinking, you could see how dumb that plan is. And it's bound to go wrong because it's supposed to for the plot. Think about what that line needs to survive. It needs nobody in the entire Vale, including Jay and Aaron, who already knows that Rhaena has Sheepstealer. It needs no farmer, no common person ever in the Vale to see Sheepstealer being ridden by a girl. Ever. For this lie to survive. Even a rumor of somebody riding Sheepstealer to get back to King's Landing is going to ruin Daemon and Rhaenyra's relationship. And Rhaena conveniently leaves out that Lady Aaron knows that she has Sheepstealer. Again, in my opinion, Daemon is not that stupid. He would not just let her go off on Sheepstealer like that. But the plot is going to need tension between Rhaenyra and Daemon later in the season or next season. Then the Queen's big strategy meeting. Rhaenyra decides to send off both dragons while Vhagar is still out there. Their biggest threat could return at any moment, and you send out 2 of your dragons. The dumbing down of characters keeps happening every episode. The pattern happens everywhere. Cole and Gwaine, when they roll up to Harrenhal, they're met by a strange woman coming out of the darkness. A stranger with every reason not to trust. Tells them that Aemon fled and everyone is dead. And they just believe her instantaneously. No scouting, no raven to verify, no nothing. Off they go onto their plan. And look, I'm not mad at every single one of these plot devices. to move the story forward. Every show has a shortcut now and then, but when it's every single episode of the season and your main characters, when you continuously make them make stupid decisions over and over again, and not just irrational decisions in a smart way, it's just dumb decisions that with 2 seconds of thought, their whole plan falls apart. And the graffiti thing. Oh, the graffiti thing. Queen of Bastards spray painted on a wall in the Game of Thrones writing was one of the most jarring things in this episode. I mean, talk about taking the immersion of a fantasy show right out. It literally looks like spray paint in the Game of Thrones text. What makes it even worse is that this is a world where the common folk don't read or write. The majority of people in this universe don't read or write. So that's just another plot hole that this show continues to run into. And the fact that whoever did that had to be somebody who was educated enough to read and write. I don't think the writers are going to spend time on finding out who did that. I don't think they thought about it for even a second. What makes it almost even worse is her response. Last episode, she goes against the noble families for the common folk to give them food. And in this episode, she sends her gold cloaks door to door, raiding the population over something written on the wall that half the people can't even read. Now, Corlys. And this one hurts, because this is probably the most compelling character other than Otto Hightower. He stands up to Rhaenyra, blows up in her face, calls her sons bastards right to her face. They hard cut. You don't find out what happens, what Rhaenyra does, what his reaction is, what happens. And I assumed, foolishly, that they were going to save that payoff for this episode. Again, foolishly, because no, he's completely not in the episode at all. He's just leaving. He's going to hunt Triarchy leftovers. The confrontation 2 years in the making, 2 seasons in the making, got resolved off screen, or didn't even get resolved at all. And they left it to Adam to explain it to Rhaenyra, where he was and what he's doing. And then she's like, oh, if he's gone, then you could just be on the council. The first person she sees. Again, because the plot needs Corlys away right now because he doesn't need to be there, and he'll probably return later in the season. And like I said in the beginning of this video, the council chamber opened this episode empty. And by the end, Mysaria is basically the hand of the queen now. And what does she do? In every scene, she just narrates what Rhaenyra is feeling back to her in an annoying accent. And then when Daemon comes home with his goat herder's head, she's the only one who sees through it. And she is the only one who tells him that she knows what he's doing. Yet, he keeps her alive for some reason. Again, what makes Daemon think that she's not going to send a raven to the Vale and see who's riding Sheepstealer, or if Daemon actually killed the person riding Sheepstealer? 2 seconds of thought and the whole plan unravels. Now, credit where credit's due. There are some things that I do like in this episode. Like I said, Ormund Hightower is the most compelling character. This episode actually makes Aegon's story more compelling than every other episode this season. You get a ton of hints that his dragon is probably still alive, just in the fact that it hasn't decayed at all. As soon as I saw it, I was like, how much time has passed? I thought like a ton of time went by, at least a few months. No decaying at all, so I have a feeling that it's going to be alive. Just the fact that he's at rock bottom and he's continuously denying it at every step of the way. Like I said earlier, I like the fact that Caraxes, that whole scene of him taking Daemon, not listening to him, and taking him right to Sheepstealer and where Rhaena was. That part was really cool. So, the midpoint scorecard of this season so far. Ormund and Aegon's story are probably the most compelling. So this is my challenge to you, is to answer my question down in the comments below. Who does the show want you to root for? And if your answer is nobody, that's the point of the show, that none of the characters are good, I don't need a character to be good. It just needs to be compelling and interesting. Let me know in the comments down below. If you made it this far into the video, I thank you. Drop a like, subscribe to the channel because we have a lot more videos coming your way. But until then, I'm Brandon, this is Screen Wars, and we'll see you in the next one.